All right, of course, to talk about this issue a bit more further, we are joined by Head of Electricity in the eThekwini Municipality. His name is Maxwell Mthembu, and he joins us via our Zoom link. Maxwell, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. I'm sure you've seen that the residents of eThekwini who are actually enjoying, those provisions made after the floods are really not quite happy about the decision to officially now put them back on load shedding.
Thanks, Pali. Good evening to you and good evening to all the viewers. Yes, no one actually likes load shedding in South Africa. Similarly, in Durban, whether it's businesses or any residential customer, they would not want load shedding, and we don't want it. And was not doing it because everybody's loving it. It's simply because there's a necessity for us to go to it. That is why we're going to it. So it is true what you're saying.
And when it comes to how this will work, we know that we've heard that, there will be a 2-hour load shedding periods and certain blocks will be prioritized. If you can just take us through how that will actually look like for the residents of eThekwini.
The truth is, those who are experiencing load shedding right now in eThekwini, having all the other substations excluded who were badly damaged during the floods last year, and some of them even this year, which they caught fire. Those people who have got those severe constraints in their substations are not going to experience any load shedding simply because it is impossible to do load shedding on them. But those who are getting it today are still going to continue to get it. But what we have done, we have split all the load shedding into block A and B, which is something we did not have before. Previously, we had stage from stage 1 to stage 6, with block 1 to block 16. Now we're going to have still block 1 to 16, but this time we've got A and B on them. So that means, in effect, we've got 32 blocks. That is giving a fair distribution of load shedding to all of the residents and commercial city customers. But if you look at the key customers, like industrial customers, those ones are not going to fall apart between stage 1 and 6. We try to put them from stage 7 above. Up to so far, we've not yet experienced stage 7 of load shedding. We are not disputing there is a possibility of it coming in, but we did plan about it so that in case there is a necessity of it coming stage 7, 8 and above, at least we do have up to stage 8. So all the major industrial customers are going to be forming part of load shedding from stage 7 upwards, excluding those ones whose substations are badly damaged. Those are not going to be load shed until we fix those substations, which will take us in up to 3 years to fix them.
And talking about that reconnection, when it comes to those who were actually affected during the floods, is everybody now back on the grid? Does all those residents who are affected because of the floods, do they have electricity supply now?
Actually, from the flooding point of view, we had all our customers back on within 3 weeks. Even those who were severely damaged last year during the floods, no one stayed more than 3 weeks. So it was a cut-off time, the 3 weeks. Some of them experienced less than that, but the maximum was 3 weeks. So all of our customers were back on. No one actually was suffered severely, but the network itself did suffer severely because we are using a lot of backfeeding, a lot of temporal equipment that we are using, supply at the moment, to keep those customers on. So that is why we're saying it is impossible to do load shedding on those substations. So, but we are also doing the work, the permanent work on those substations as I'm talking to you now.
And talking about, what has gone into actually repairing some of that infrastructure that was damaged during the floods. If you can just take us through how much has that actually cost the city of eThekwini to actually repair and get most people back onto the grid?
The cost that we have estimated actually is now no longer an estimate. We know of effect is 405 million that we need to fix the infrastructure that was damaged during the floods. So that includes more than 25 major substations and a lot of cables and a lot of lines that were broken, that were taken away. The floods. So we did have some money to start working or start fixing on those substations. So we've begun all the processes, and we've got our own site in most of them, of those substations. And we've bought the equipment that we call them long lead materials, such as transformers. We need between 12 to 18 months actually to have those transformers delivered. So those orders have been placed, and now we're waiting for them to be delivered. But while we're waiting for that, we are fixing whatever that we can on our boards and also on our buildings, especially the buildings that were broken down or that caught fire, like the one that we've been showing on your photos and videos. So those are the things that we are busy doing right now.
And how long is that process expected to take?
Up to 3 years, ma'am.
About up to 3 years, you say?
Yes.
Okay. And you know, as the eThekwini city, have you also considered some of the adverse effects, you know, when it comes to the decision of rebuilding, the rebuilding efforts in some of these communities that were actually affected by the floods? You know, you are saying that it will take about 3 years, you know, to actually repair it fully and to get it back onto the grid, just like how it was pre-floods. You know, what are the conditions here which you've considered?
At the moment, I will say the condition is just so bad. It's just that customers don't see it when it comes to them, especially coming to their sites. It's difficult for them to assess and see what we're talking about. But those who have visited our substations, like you have been showing the videos as part of your crew, have been around with us. They know the damage, how big the damage is. But as we are showing them now and again, they can see how big the damage was. But some of those who are living next to those substations, they saw the fire that was caught up. And it's not a small fire when such accident do happen. It's quite a big fire. So the damage is so huge. And the equipment is so expensive that has been broken. But again, it was an unfortunate event, and we just want to believe and hope it won't repeat itself in the near future.
And now coming back to the issue of load shedding in eThekwini, what do you want to reassure the residents of eThekwini Municipality, as you saw that some of them are really quite skeptical when it comes to the change that needs to happen, especially now that they have to be put on load shedding?
We would like to say that we apologize for the inconvenience that has been caused. But again, if we don't participate in load shedding, we don't want to find ourselves as people of Durban that we've caused a national collapse grid because we did not participate in the load shedding that was supposed to be done. So we are careful about this. We don't want actually to be implicated in any way, but at the same time, we understand that our own residents are going to be going through a tough time. But also, we thought about businesses that as much as we are having this load shedding going on, we don't want to start having job shedding within eThekwini. So hence, we try to put the major businesses on stage 7 and above, just to make sure that we keep the jobs for all the people just to continue with their living. But also, if there's, as long as we've got this severe load shedding going on, that means most people are not going to be paid enough, and then most of them will result in actually stealing the electricity. So we're just going to be shooting ourselves on the foot, let alone the fact that we are unable to do maintenance properly the way we're supposed to, simply because of the impact of the load shedding. Even if we had all the money in the world, we cannot catch up with this maintenance cost or the maintenance itself that is needed on any of our equipment. For example, any breaker that operates more than 5 times, you need to check it out and do the maintenance. At the moment, those breakers, they operate more than 6 times in one day. So really, all the networks that we have they were never designed for load shedding. Even today, we know that all of them actually, as long as they are still continuing to be subjected to this kind of load shedding, being switched off and on and off, we know that we are not going to be catching up with a lot of maintenance. So we understand the impact on it, and we're ready to apologize to our customers. Bear with us. We all hate load shedding, but it is a necessity.
All right, then. Thank you very much indeed. That is Maxwell Mthembu there. He is from the eThekwini Municipality, just talking about what that municipality will now have to do to try and, now also get those residents in the city of eThekwini to be placed under load shedding.